does get damaged, go somewhere safe and call 911.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Come on, man.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Thinking Logically. Today is a very special episode. It's Thinking Logically's 2-year anniversary. Yes, 2 years since our first episode premiered on iTunes. We actually recorded on July 8th, 2022, but back then it took us 3 days to upload. And look at the show now, on the radio and Facebook Live at the same time. Mark is on his way in the studio. I wish I could wish him happy anniversary right now, but Ryan, it's just you and me. We have a live producer now. Ryan, look how far we've come.
Well, you guys are doing great. I'm so proud. I just, met you guys probably, about halfway through your journey to this point, but you guys are doing a great job.
Did you get us a gift for our anniversary, or?
You know what? I didn't realize it was your anniversary. Otherwise, I would have.
It's always like that. The guys always forget. Okay. So today, first topic, Biden is going to do a live press conference today. They call it a big boy press conference. Be honest. How do you think this is really going to go? He's not even good when it's a pre-scripted interview where he has the questions in advance. I'll remind you, his last pre-scripted interview was to a radio station, and that resulted in a black woman getting fired. This week, we've seen quite a few senators and other members of Congress come out and say Joe Biden, quote, will do the right thing. Or it's Joe Biden's, quote, decision to make. He's going to take his time and do. It sounds like mob speak for get out of the race soon, or they're going to find you in a truck freezer. Or at the bottom of maybe Obama's lake. Swing with the chefs, Ryan? What do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
All right, speaking of Obama, George Clooney, handsome George Clooney even came out and said Biden shouldn't be the nominee. Gorgeous George! You were just at a fundraiser with him a few weeks ago. Why didn't you say anything then? See, they don't care if he has dementia. They care whether or not he can win. But do you remember that event? That was the one where Obama led Biden off stage by the hand like a small child. I think that was our June 18th episode. Listen to that when you get a chance. It's oh boy, did we predict this one. We told you then that was the start. That they were, since it's baseball season and the Pirates just, we're just on, they won. We'll use the term change of batter. Actually, and Ryan, you'll agree, after what they just did to Paul Skeens, change of pitcher will be...
Good one, man.
But Joe Biden isn't exactly flamethrower Paul Skeens. He's more of a junk ball pitcher that's 2 decades past his prime. Anyway, they're going to do a change of batter, change of pitcher, and swap Joe Biden out because they know he can't win. They know that he couldn't even win if they cheated. Do you really think George Clooney came out and said what he said without running it by Obama first? No, and it's even come out in Politico today that's what happened. So no, it's all Obama. Obama, he's the one pulling the strings. He's always been the shadow president behind the scene pulling the strings. So if he's really the one with the power, that means that the lawfare against Trump that we've seen, all these bogus cases, that's actually Obama. That's actually Obama. Trump wasn't, remember, think back. Trump wasn't supposed to be the nominee. Don't you remember? It wasn't that long ago. It was only January, February. He was not supposed to be the nominee. He was supposed to be wrapped up in these court cases after court cases. This was supposed to be Nikki Haley versus Joe Biden. Think back. Don't you guys remember? But what ended up happening? And it just happened literally at the turn of a dime, like a week or two ago. The lawfare against Trump it didn't work. Did the Supreme Court cases play a role in that? Yeah, I guess you could say so. The cases were all thrown out or delayed until after the election. And what happened? Isn't it amazing? As soon as the cases get tossed or delayed past the election, something like this. The media, who was on sabbatical for 3.5 years, the media discovers the current president of the United States has dementia or Parkinson's. We don't even know. And he can't be the nominee. Like we said in June 18th episode, the fundraiser in LA, it's gonna be the start of Biden's exit. And, you know, I just don't know what else to say. How much more obvious can it be? Let's get to a few headlines here. This is from Rachel Bade on X. Scoop. Barack Obama and George Clooney were in touch before the actor wrote his brutal op-ed suggesting Biden was a diminished man who should step aside from the presidency. Obama did not encourage or advise George Clooney on the op-ed, but he did not try to dissuade him either. Absolutely amazing. It's exactly what we said. Nancy Pelosi has privately suggested that Biden won't win this November and should step aside, according to about a half dozen lawmakers and others who've spoken with her or are familiar with those conversations. It gets better. We got Chuck Schumer yet? Let's see. Yes, Chuck Schumer is open to replacing Biden as the presidential nominee, and that is coming from Axios. And is this the last one here? Oh, yeah. So Jake Tapper was told this morning that the Biden campaign is suggesting that Joe Biden has more stamina than George Clooney because George Clooney left that fundraiser after about 15, 20 minutes and Joe Biden stayed for 3 hours. Again, you saw how he looked at the fundraiser. He had to be let off stage. Say whatever it wants. They all don't think Joe Biden should be the nominee. Do I think he should be I don't care anymore. Honestly, I really don't care. At this point, they made their bed. Let them sleep in it. But I can't stand the hypocrisy. Someone should show this to Joe Biden. Oh, here's our special guest, Mark. Welcome. We're just about to compare Joe Biden and Jimmy Carter here. So Mark just walked in. You got your headset over here. And let's get it on. This happened in 1979, July of 1979. With an embattled then president potentially bringing down the party, one senator began polling his colleagues to see if they'd back an open convention. That senator was Joe Biden. Mark, I know you just got here and I'm putting you on the spot here, but what do you think about this whole situation? Like I said, we've been saying this for 3 weeks. Joe Biden will not be the nominee, we've been saying for years, but that Obama was about to start moving him out of the way. And here we are, the news today.
Is this press conference at 6:30 going to tell us any more of what his future is going to be? Because it feels like they're feeding him to the sharks at 6:30, and he's just chum. I mean, is this another setup, Joe?
I think it is. He's never done a pre-screen. He always has the questions in front of him. Again, how do we know he won't? I guess we won't, but this is not going to be a good look for him. I'm telling you, it's going to be a disaster. There's the term setting him up for failure.
There's no other way to look at it.
No,
I mean, we know he's not going to succeed in this press conference or do what they want him to do.
I can't wait to hear the first questions, how they'll, because they're going to have follow-up questions. Before it was just simple questions. They're going to really press him on things, and I want to see what they press him about. If it's all going to be his mental stability, they're probably not going to mention Hunter or anything else, anything juicy. It's all going to be about his mental stability, which tells you it's all led by a certain someone, and that certain someone probably is.
I think the media is going to attack him at 6:30. I think they're going to go after him.
Yes. I wonder why they moved it back. I don't know. Maybe for more people to see on the West Coast. I don't know.
I told you yesterday, this is Custer's last stand.
You think he'll get scalped then, for sure?
Probably.
How long do you think, okay, assuming this is bad, assuming it's worse than the debate, how long do you think he survives after this?
I don't know. It seems like the donors are drying up, we're hearing, and the money's starting to dry up a little bit, Joe. I don't know. They've weathered the storm for, 2 weeks now?
It's been a long 2 weeks.
When was the last time the media has ever opposed a Democratic president like this?
Like this? Oh, jeez. I don't know. But you probably have to go back to Jimmy Carter and stagflation. I don't know what else to compare it to.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Oh, God.
Right?
Oh, God. I forgot about Kamala. Your audience, Joe Biden was at least funny to listen to, whatever. You're not going to be able to take Kamala. You're not ready for Kamala. You have to start mentally preparing yourself today for Kamala.
Why is the Biden administration doing secretive research as how Kamala would poll against Trump?
I have no idea. Again, you knew there were going to be fake polls eventually. But
you said that yesterday.
The fake polls came out immediately after. Again, we did the rundown. We said how it would happen, that you're going to have a few donors, shy away. Then once the House of Representatives and senators start speaking out like normie ones, then it's going to start snowballing from there. And I forget what step we're at now, but we're at step Barack Obama. Those are high-level people in the Democratic Party. I want to give him to the convention. I don't know. He's gone completely rogue, and I fear what they might do. Do you want to get into what you sent me about how Joe Biden can possibly be holding the strings?
We can, yeah. When is the Democratic National Convention? It's next month, but August 19th to 22nd, it looks like.
Yes.
I don't know if he can hang on 5 more weeks.
To life or just the nomination of being president?
No.
He looks like he's constantly just on hospice. I don't know.
Jimmy Carter's still on hospice.
For like 4 years now. It's amazing. They could replace him with him. Let's switch him out at the convention. All right, you sent me this. Former Biden stenographer Mike McCormick believes Joe Biden blackmailed Barack Obama with threats of revealing the former president's alleged private homosexual lifestyle. And if you remember, Tucker Carlson did an interview with the one guy from 2008 that supposedly had relations for money, I think, or for crack with Barack Obama. What are your thoughts on this? Who is this? Joe Biden fighting a rearguard action?
I mean, we've heard that about Obama. Who knows? I'm not sure what to think of this.
I mean, the community notes, they're only saying that the only reason why this has community notes is that Mike McCormick revealed this information on the Alex Jones show. Alex Jones is a well-known conspiracy theorist. That's the fact check, I guess. I don't know. So, Ryan, here's a good question. Would you rather Joe Biden have dementia or Parkinson's?
Oh, jeez. I would rather have a guy that doesn't have any of them, to be honest, running the country.
Open your eyes and look what's in the White House. That's not an option. This is a real story here. Mark, you guys are going to love this one. A pro-Biden physician from New Mexico argued in a letter to the New York Times that Biden's physical and verbal symptoms resembling Parkinson's should be a source of relief because he says the disease does not necessarily imply cognitive deterioration.
Perfect. Thank you, whoever wrote this. We don't want him to drop out now.
What a relief! They should be relieved. Imagine that being your Parkinson's. He can still go on. He's just going to be very shaky with the nuclear button. He'll know what it is.
How about Karine Jean-Pierre? She wouldn't admit to this in the press briefing the other day.
What? The Parkinson's doctor?
Yeah.
Just in general, yeah,
she said it was a privacy issue.
Yeah. How is it? Like, how many soldiers have Parkinson's that we know about? I mean, seriously.
They said it's on the visitor logs. Why are you denying it?
They couldn't figure out who the fourth man was, as if it was like WCW at Bash at the Beach. They couldn't figure out who the fourth man was in this meeting. Hold on, let me pull it up. They knew it was Dr. Kevin O'Connor. They knew it was Dr. Kevin Kennard, who was the Parkinson specialist from Walter Reed. And they knew it was Dr. John Atwood, I think the cardiologist. They had no idea who this fourth person could have been. No idea. Could have been Hulk Hogan coming out as if it were some kind of big shock, like Hogan turning heel. It was Joe Biden. It was discovered it was actually Joe Biden as the fourth. So what is Joe Biden doing there with the Parkinson's and his cardiologist and his doctor? Explain that one to me, Karine Jean-Pierre. I just don't even know what to say.
What about doesn't his doctor have some sort of business dealings with Biden's brother or something like that?
Yes, with Jim Biden. I don't know what the specific business dealing is.
For those listening out there, don't forget, Trump's doctor, Ronnie Jackson, was also Obama's White House physician. And people, can you imagine if this was Trump?
Oh, my God. It'd be over. It'd be over.
He would have been impeached a third time.
Yeah. when Joe Biden's brother Jim was exploring a business venture aimed at securing Veterans Affairs contracts in 2017, O'Connor introduced him to a military-focused medical team and accompanied him in a meeting with the hospital president. You and your team clearly share our vision, O'Connor wrote to the hospital president following the business meeting. The family ties transcend business. In 2018 deposition, the president's sister-in-law, Sarah Biden, described O'Connor as a, quote, friend who frequently doled out medical advice to her family. I imagine your friend being your doctor in the White House that you have business relations with, and just the media for 3 years was just silent and then discovered, wait a minute, hold on a second. There's more than just a doctor-patient relationship here. The best part is they actually came out and admitted this one. Who is this from? I saw it on X. Real Clear Politics. This is from the White House. No specialist has examined Joe Biden at his residence in Delaware. They want to make that known. So, translation, no doctor for Biden in Delaware, according to the visitor logs that don't exist because there are no visitor logs where Joe Biden spent 40% of his presidency. The beach. You go to the beach, you don't sign in there. I don't even know what else to say about this whole situation. He's a zombie. He's a cadaver. He's a corpse. They even said they shaking his hand and he's been cool to touch. I mean,
cool to touch. That was the quote.
He can see ghosts. I mean, he's got to be on the fringe. If you're seeing ghosts, like that's like one of the last before you take your last breath. And he's seeing Jackie Walorski and other people.
That's funny you mentioned that.
The only thing that he has left is floating over his body and seeing himself down below. I mean, come on.
It's funny you mentioned that. I read a book recently called The In-Between, and it was about this home hospice nurse who basically wrote a book about her experiences with these patients who were on hospice in the final days of their life, seeing loved ones and people they knew before they died. It was like they were coming to visit them.
That would explain Bo.
These weren't hallucinations because she said Jackie Walorski, whoever we're talking about, the president from France or Germany. And she said these could not have been hallucinations because this happened over and over again. And these were patients that were at the end of life.
So is he saying Uncle Brosy just getting eaten by cannibals in front of him every time he goes to make a speech for a couple weeks there? What was that about? All right, with enough for jokes. We got to get someone wanted us to cover Project 2025. Joe Biden did that for us, I guess, because he put out a tweet on X, and it says, if it'll come up here, Google Project 2025. Joe, why not come out live in front of the press corps and tell us what it is, Joe?
Look at the two tweets below it.
What do they say?
End wokeness. Google sundowning. Joey Manarino. Google Ashley Biden's diary.
It's just, I mean, instead of like explaining what Project 2025 is with a video, come out live. He sounds like a 90-year-old man asking his grandson to Google something you want to know more about. Again, he put out a 4-second video, and you could see his reflection. In the reflection of his aviators, there's a teleprompter there. It was a 4-second video. And then it gets worse because they put out their own, it says Trump's Project 2025.
They made up a website.
Yeah. We said this in our private chat. Compare Agenda 2030 or the Great Reset with Project 2025. Which would you rather live under?
You know my answer. Yeah, this is just propaganda by the Biden administration trying to scare voters. I think this was going to be their October surprise, but it came out a little bit too early, and it started to get circulated by left-wing media and on social media and whatnot. And, they probably ran with it. And obviously Trump distanced himself from it. There are some good things in there. But we know that's not the Republican platform because the platform has already been adopted, and you're going to see that next week at the Republican National Convention. I can't wait for Milwaukee. Do you see the lineup of speakers?
It's going to be interesting.
Dana White is going to speak right before Trump. Donald Trump Jr. is going to speak right before the vice presidential pick, apparently. Mike Pompeo speaking.
It could be Joe Rogan. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, we got to move to a break here. Before I gotta tell this story from, I think it's the AP. Yes, from the AP. This is the headline. Chaos swirling since Biden's debate flub is causing cracks. It's funny to use that word. Cracks in a White House known for discipline. A White House known for discipline. Didn't they find something there last year? What was it? Oh, that's right. It was cocaine. You're listening to Thinking Logically on 99.3 WBVP. Stay disciplined. We'll be right back.
Woo!
cash for your house. PGHbuyers.com. If you have an unwanted house but don't want the hassle of selling, visit PGHbuyers.com to see if PGHbuyers.com can help. No inspections and a fair cash offer. Visit PGHbuyers.com to sell that unwanted property for a fair price today. It's Joe Corsi here from Thinking Logically to tell you about Beaver County's #1 realtor, Mark Galla with RE/MAX Select Realty. With over 10 years experience, Mark knows all the ins and outs of the real estate business, so whether you're looking to rent, buy, sell, or swap your house, you can rely on Mark to take the hassle out. Mark Galla of RE/MAX Select Realty, going above and beyond. You know, when Joe Biden shuffles in front of the cameras to answer scripted questions during the day, he lies like Don King. But what you don't know is, when he goes to sleep at night, he lies like an Egyptian king because he uses MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Grown only in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River, its long staple cotton makes it ultra soft and breathable. Use the promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings on this amazing product.
PA Cyber presents Midland Music Mondays at Lincoln Park. On July the 15th at 6:30 p.m., enjoy the Allegheny Brass Band on July the 15th in the park, rain or shine. Food truck service begins at 5 p.m. Sponsored by Beaver County Radio.
It's time to wake up, Beaver Valley, with Pastor David Grove from the Church of the Redeemed of Beaver Valley. Tune in to Beaver County Radio this and every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. It's time to wake up and turn our hearts back to Jesus Christ. So wake up early this Saturday and tune in to Wake Up Beaver Valley from 9 until 10 a.m. right here on Beaver County Radio.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP. You're probably wondering why you just heard Outcast on the way back in. It's because we have a new sponsor, and that sponsor is So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing. Whether you need your house washed, your driveway cleaned, your patio done, fences, gutters, you name it, call Dave from So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing at 724-252-4489. That's 724-252-4489. They're fully insured and offer free estimates. So what are you waiting for? Don't be the outcast in your neighborhood with the dirty house or deck. Call So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing today. Mark, great Patriot economy going on here. Great sponsors. We love them.
Absolutely.
So this next piece is from Libs of TikTok. And in it, she explains one of our favorite topics, how illegals can register to vote through the DMV. And this is kind of scary, in my opinion, and it gets scarier. So in 19 states and the District of Columbia, illegals are able to get a driver's license at the DMV. The same DMV where the National Voter Registration Act requires that all driver's license applications and renewals also, quote, serve as a simultaneous voter registration application unless the applicant fails to sign the voter registration. This means that in at least 19 states, undocumented migrants could easily get registered to vote in a federal election as long as they check the U.S. citizens box. That's all it takes. Saying you are a citizen when you're not is illegal, but there's nothing actually stopping them from doing that. They don't have to provide evidence. These people illegally came to our country, and their first act here is illegal. They do not care about our rule of law. Democrats plan this, of course. First, they pass laws allowing illegals to get driver's licenses, and then they block laws which would require proof of U.S. citizenship to register to vote. That's scary enough, Mark, but what if I told you illegals don't even need to vote? It's even easier than that. And this is from The Last Refuge on X. They're not importing Democrat voters. They are importing people, names. That allows the state fraud process to generate ballots. It's an important distinction. The migrants will not use the ballots. The DNC harvesters will collect them, fill them out, and then the precinct workers will scan them and count them. Illegals don't need to vote. They only need to exist to create a ballot. Mark, they're not importing Democrat voters. They're importing people and names, and that allows the state fraud process to generate ballots. Does it make more sense while the Biden administration was flying illegals into swing states? This is why we need the SAVE Act. Am I right?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, Joe, the way you break it down like that. But we have a caller. We're going to get to one of our favorite listeners here in a little bit. But Joe, the Republican National Committee has stated that they are forming the largest ballot harvesting operation ever this year. So why can't the Republicans harvest those same ballots that we're talking about right now? Scott Pressler says, if anyone can show me illegal aliens that are currently registered to vote in Pennsylvania, I will immediately file an audit with any counties in violation of state law. This is from Oilfield Rando on X. Normies don't believe me when I tell them the first thing the border asylum applicants get from NGOs is a social security card and welfare benefits. This is from North Carolina. Right? It says it right on their website. Social security card applications, public assistance applications like Medicaid, food stamps, and cash assistance. These are going to illegal migrants. Summer Lee, one of our progressive squad members here from Pittsburgh, yesterday, I believe, suggested that passing a law like the SAVE Act that only American citizens can vote in our elections is a xenophobic attack. For those of you listening out there, how can you rationalize with something like that? This is making sure only American citizens vote in federal elections. How can you say anything other than that they want illegals to vote? 5 Democrats came out, and I give them credit, and voted for this bill, along with, I think, all the Republicans, because it passed yesterday. So now it goes to the Senate, where it's probably going to get shot down, and then probably, if it makes it out of the Senate by some miracle, it'll get vetoed by President Brandon. Joe, let's take our caller.
Yeah, let's take a caller. Is it Dawn? Dawn, actually, I got a question for you, Dawn, first. So, I believe you told me you had grandchildren.
I do not have any, not that I know of. I haven't talked to my boy in a while. Okay. You never know, to be honest with you. Well,
if you did,
none that I know of.
If you
Kinda
did,
like Hunter Biden, he didn't claim that little girl from Arkansas for a few years, did he?
No, he did. That's a good point.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I should have let you finish.
If you did, would you let Joe Biden drive your? Because the station, the studio sponsors Fry Transportation, offering safe transportation for kids. Would you let Joe Biden drive your grandchildren to school? Yes or no?
No, but that's interesting because I was helping a friend do some yard work yesterday and today. But I asked his wife. I said, "What is the over and under if you let President Biden drive from your house down Black Hawk Road?" And she said he would crash into my mailbox. There's no telling with this guy. How can illegal aliens be flown into swing states? How can they get driver's licenses? And this is a goal line stand. We have to win November 5th. And as far as Summer Lee, oh, my Lord. They like to talk about debates. I will debate Summer Lee all day, any day. I'll wake up and do it in my pajamas. She couldn't give you a working definition or spell the word xenophobia. The right-wingers have got to quit being nice to these people. These people are not nice. Have you ever heard them talk about civility? How is burning down buildings and murdering people civil? I don't get it.
Just wait till Trump wins, and you'll see what civility looks like. They might burn the whole country down.
I'm worried about that point, though. It hasn't even started yet, because I remember 2020. I remember May through however far you want to go of 2020. It kind of calmed down a little bit before the election, but I remember May and the summer of love. I hope that doesn't happen this year.
Well, okay. I hope Jennifer Aniston falls in love with me and buys me a Lamborghini. We are going to have riots, sir.
Stock up now, Don. I know I've been.
Okay, exactly. Get yourself some water and some protein bars. And a friend of mine who was a pistolero one time, he was talking to his girlfriend. We were in Birmingham, Alabama. And she said, "What about these gangbangers?" And he said, stand perfectly still. They will hit everything but what they aim at. Do not panic, but they're going to burn stuff down. Because you know why? Because they weren't raised by the people that raised me. You didn't throw well, I tried. You didn't throw temper tantrums in our house. The riots are nothing but temper tantrums, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're temper tantrums from people like George Soros. I think like people fail to understand. They're paid for too. They're not just, some of them are useful idiots, but a lot of them are paid for riots, which is even scarier.
That guy is such a dork. Have a good day, sir.
You
Good
too,
to talk.
Don. Thanks for your
Don.
call.
Thanks, Don.
All right. Speaking of the DMV, who's the authority? Whose authority does the DMV fall under, Mark? Anyone know? Anyone?
Secretary of Transportation.
Pete Buttigieg, who, by the way, according to Tucker Carlson's producer, we'll play the audio later. We'll play the audio in a second. Isn't even gay. We'll get to that later. But Pete Buttigieg is using the DMV in 19 states where illegals can get driver's license. Those 10 million illegals that cross the border, they get a driver's license and will have ballots filled out in their names and addresses and dropped in a ballot drop box or by mail. This is why we need everyone to show proof of citizenship, not just a photo ID or a social security card. But I'm sorry, the Pete Buttigieg not being gay is just bothering me. Play that audio from Tucker, please, Ryan, when you get a chance.
Do you remember Pete Buttigieg ran for president? He's supposedly gay, and now he's transportation secretary. And I had one of my producers was gay, and he goes, he's not gay. I was like, are you serious? Gays all keep very close track of that stuff. Yeah, yeah. And my producer's like, no, it's totally a pose. He was dating women just a few years ago. That's totally fake. Wow. He's not gay at all. Smart. So I said that on the air. People got all offended. I thought it was kind of hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
It is hilarious.
Yes.
And you're also like, I'm not against gays. I'm saying he's not one.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Would Pete Buttigieg not being gay and faking being gay be a bigger story than Joe Biden having dementia or Parkinson's at this point?
Honestly, it might. Probably got him to where he is today.
Is everyone lying about everything?
Well, that's funny you mentioned that. There was a tweet here from Charlie Kirk earlier today. CNN is now reporting that Joe Biden's entire presidency is a carefully staged, managed sham, where Biden walks, what questions he takes from reporters, and even how he interacts with cabinet members, coordinated in advance to hide the state of Biden's decline. The entire display is kind of an act, is the quote. That's not a source describing a Biden speech. It's a source describing Biden's private, closed-door meetings with his own cabinet. This is the behavior of a tin pot dictatorship.
All right, we got jammed up for time here, so we're going to have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to cover this NEA Becky Pringle story. This audio is absolutely hilarious. This is what happens when uneducated people are just not there mentally and make speeches. We'll be back. This is 99.3 FM WBVP.
Hey guys, it's Joe from Thinking Logically here to tell you about a company I've been using since I got my learner's permit. Grossi & Associates. Using their state-of-the-art equipment, Grossi & Associates offers collision repair for all makes and models, both foreign and domestic. There's a reason why they are voted Best of the Valley year in and year out. They are the collision experts. Grossi & Associates. Call today for a free estimate.
It's Joe again from Thinking Logically, here to tell you about one of my favorite clothing items, the MyPillow hoodie. Two things I love the most about this hoodie are how it fits and how it feels. This hoodie is extremely roomy, and its terry cloth material makes it lighter than any other hoodie I own. Use promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings. The MyPillow hoodie. Get yours today. Cash for your house. PGHbuyers.com. If you have an unwanted house but don't want the hassle of selling, visit PGHbuyers.com to see if PGHbuyers.com can help. No inspections and a fair cash offer. Visit PGHbuyers.com to sell that unwanted property for a fair price today. It's Joe Corsi here from Thinking Logically to tell you about Beaver County's #1 realtor, Mark Galla with RE/MAX Select Realty. With over 10 years experience, Mark knows all the ins and outs of the real estate business, so whether you're looking to rent, buy, sell, or swap your house, you can rely on Mark to take the hassle out. Mark Galla of RE/MAX Select Realty, going above and beyond.
the place for news, sports, and entertainment. You're listening to Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM and WBVP, live from the all-new Fry Transportation Studios.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Welcome back to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP. So our next story, the NEA's Becky Pringle has called for public schools to transform into a racially, equitable system. She also, a separate story, has visited the White House over 20 times. Let's listen to her speech, though. This is the president of the nation's largest teacher union. Ryan, go ahead, please.
As I rise from the darkness,
the NEA teacher. That's close. It's going to sound similar.
NEA delegates, we can do this work. We must do this work. We get to do this work. We will do this work because our students are depending on us to win all the things. NEA, we have to win all the things. All the things. All the things. Our colleagues are depending on us to win all the things. Keep going, NEA. To preserve our democracy, we must win all the things. Delegates, we won't go back. We will keep going forward because we are the NEA. We are the NEA.
What does the NEA actually do again? Anyway, play the Ultimate War. Hold on. Let's compare this to what it sounds more. Let's play the game. What does this sound more like? The Ultimate Warrior? Go ahead and play that one, Ryan.
As I rise from the darkness, I set aside no time for fun and games or recreational periods. I do not live by what you tell me to do. I do what the warrior wants, and the fear I see in your eyes has begun to blind me.
It sounded, honestly, it made a lot more sense, like her speech. Anyway, is it more Ultimate Warrior or is it the Road Warrior?
No, we go in, we kill. No more talk, we kill. Soon my dog of war, but we have to do it my way.
What is? Okay, honestly, what is this? Does it not sound like both of them? And these are the. By the way, that was from the Road Warrior. I think it was a clip from South Park.
I was waiting for Mr. Fuji to come over and start smacking her. Come on, that's a wrestling promo.
Behind her is a giant sign that says NEA Philadelphia, and that tells you all you need to know. How well are the schools in Philly? How's reading and writing? And how much money do they get? This might shock you, so maybe sit down if you're listening at home. But our education system is just another way to launder tax dollars. That's why our kids get dumber after we spend more money on them. And the result? Speeches like this. I wonder how this woman would do in a debate, like how Dawn said. Imagine what it's going to be like in another 20 years with stuff like this. You don't, you know what, you don't. They made a documentary about this stuff. It's called Idiocracy. Check it out sometimes. Mark, they also predicted in that, I think, movie that Michelle Obama would be the president.
Apparently, this Becky Pringle was mocked pretty good over the weekend.
Yeah.
They compared her to... they channeling Dwight Schrute from The Office.
That's a good one.
In a totally unhinged speech. Speaking of education, by the way, this Becky Pringle has visited the Biden White House over 20 times. Called for public schools to transform into a racially equitable system. Speaking of education, we have the Pennsylvania state legislature is close to passing a budget, and it's the holdup. It was due June 30th. It's now July 11th. The holdup was around education. We can get into some details, Joe, but it might take a few moments. But this budget is $47.6 billion the lawmakers have agreed to. The plan includes more than $1 billion in new K-12 educational spending, split among multiple budget lines. So there's a lot into this. More money is going to education. As I was told today, that this budget of $47.6 billion is 45% more money than it was 6 years ago.
Is that just for inflation, or are we actually spending more money on children?
I don't know. They have a $15 billion surplus here in Pennsylvania, so I wonder if they're going to be
Send it
taking
to
a bite into
Ukraine.
that.
Send it to Ukraine if we had a surplus. What are you doing? Get that on a jet to Ukraine right now and airdrop it to Zelensky's mansion.
Buy them an F-16 or something.
Speaking of that, Joe Biden embarrassed us at NATO. Did you see that? It happened. We can't even say what he called the one NATO general. He called him a racial slur for a white guy, I guess you could say. It was by accident, I'm sure.
Wow.
But this is from Politico. And like I said, the knives are out for Biden, Mark, are they not? Behind the smiling handshakes, NATO leaders are unnerved by a weakened Biden. You're worried if he knows which direction he's going or whether he's going to fall or what he's going to forget, said one of the senior European diplomats. Oh, wow. That's not good. That's not good for the leader of NATO.
Well, did you see he was community noted for calling Jens Stoltenberg, the outgoing NATO chief, what did he call him?
We can't. I don't think we can say it on the show. It's
intellectual.
Yeah. An intellectual. Let's just say it wasn't the nicest thing to call a white guy.
The community notes corrected that to rigor. He said he has intellectual rigor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. I guess vigor. Whatever. Rigor. I don't know. Like we said, I said weeks ago. What's going to happen if he flubs on the word Niger? You got to be careful with this guy. You just don't know what he's going to say. He's embarrassing us on a national stage in front of our allies on our home court, Washington, D.C.
Speaking of Ukraine, Joe, looks like we're sending some more money to Ukraine.
Yeah, how much was it?
220 million? 225 million.
Oh, wow, that's not that much. That's 0.2 billion. We usually are in terms of billions.
That's what the pier cost.
Yeah.
That they permanently decommissioned over 21 days.
Congratulations to the new landlocked country Ukraine since they lost the Crimea. You get I can't even go on. You get a pier.
You get a pier. For those listening out there, what was it? No, you said it was 320 million, but the actual number was 230 or something.
I don't know where the 90 million just disappeared. I showed you articles that said 320 million from late June, I thought, but it just, I don't know.
Your taxpayer dollars went to a pier in Gaza that was used for 21 days and was dismantled. $320 million down the drain.
You're numb to it. It's just numbers. It's numbers.
Yeah.
And
you wonder why things cost more today.
CPI went down. So the inflation went up 30% and then down 5%. Thank you, Joe Biden and Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve. Okay, let's just shuffle into a few stories here. This is a good one. Supreme Court Justice Stoudemire's bodyguard shoots would-be carjacker outside of her home. Okay, wow. What state was this in, Mark?
Maryland or D.C. or Virginia, one of those three locations.
So does this make again, she has armed bodyguards.
Yeah, D.C.
Standard people don't have armed bodyguards. Again,
U.S. Marshals.
I don't understand why the right doesn't use this to say we need less gun control. We need to arm our citizens. Cities are a very dangerous place all of a sudden the last 4 years. It wasn't exactly, super safe, 8 years ago, 12 years ago, but it's like dangerous now. You see the carjackings and you could just rob a place if it's less than $950. I mean, good, right?
I was just seeing this morning that Pittsburgh is beefing up their law enforcement because of the recent crime activities spiked. So whatever this is about in inner cities, it's real. We're seeing it right here.
You got to wonder, where's the Department of Justice? Where's the FBI on this? Where's Merrick Garland? I'll tell you where Merrick Garland is. So they brought a bill to fine him, what was it, $10,000 a day and hold him in contempt?
Inherent contempt.
It failed, didn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it failed. 4 Republicans voted no, and more than a dozen others didn't bother showing up. This is from Nick Sorter on X. The measure would have personally fined Attorney General Garland $10,000 per day for refusing to hand over the tapes of special counsel Hur's Biden interview. This is ridiculous, man. Can we just get the Hur tapes? Why are they holding them back? Because they know as soon as they're released, it's over for Biden.
I mean, someone has them, Joe. Yeah. If you want to put the nail in the coffin, not figuratively and literally, maybe get the tapes released. If you want Biden to maybe exit the race permanently.
Yeah, that could be. Could be Obama just releases them one day.
Why do our Republicans suck so much?
I don't know. They're just spineless, completely spineless, like jellyfish.
This is the time you go on offense right now.
No.
We have all the leverage right now.
Nope.
Yet they just sit back and, well.
Twiddle their thumbs like this.
Yep.
All right. We mentioned Pete Buttigieg might not be gay. You know who actually is gay? I think Alex Soros. And he got married for some reason. And guess who he got married to?
Well, he's getting married.
Well,
he's engaged.
No,
right?
Is it engaged? No, engaged. Okay. So George Soros' son, Alex, and Hillary Clinton's assistant, Huma Abedin, are reportedly engaged. She's 48 and he's 38 and is the heir to a multi-billion-dollar fortune from George. Alex Soros is reportedly gay, so if it's anyone's guess as to the real purpose of this, most straight billionaires wouldn't be interested in marrying someone past their prime like Huma. Is this just a marriage of convenience to try to hide the fact that he is gay? I think it's to help Hillary Clinton. I mean, George Soros was a giant Clinton donor. Huma Abedin was her personal assistant. Whatever happened to Anthony Weiner laptop, by the way? And all the police officers that saw that and immediately killed themselves after.
Well, Anthony's in jail, right?
I don't know. Honestly,
I think he's in jail.
What was his name? Carlos Danger?
I don't know. Huma Abedin, I don't know. This is weird, but not shocking at all.
What do you think about Alex, though? I mean, my gaydar says that he's for sure gay. I'd like to know how Hillary benefits from this. We'll know in the coming weeks. I'm telling you, you've seen a lot of articles about her all of a sudden. She came back out. Don't count her out. Don't count her out. All right, the last story before the break. Alec Baldwin trial started, Mark. This has been, 3 years since the shooting? So Alec Baldwin shot, was it Halyna Hutchins? I think it was her name.
Halyna Hutchins.
Halyna Hutchins. Yeah. Halyna Hutchins on a movie set with a gun and real bullets. I don't know why there would ever be real bullets on a movie set, a movie set about a Western where they are shooting. And how real bullets got on a movie set is beyond me, let alone how a prop gun, which is a gun specifically designed to not fire bullets, was able to shoot and kill this woman. Does this make any sense to you? I have some theories, but I want to get your thoughts first on Alec Baldwin, the trial, if you have any at all.
I've been following the trial, but I mean, we talked about this pretty in detail when we were in our podcasting days. Someone has to be held accountable.
The woman was the armorer.
The armorer, that's the word I was looking for, the armorer.
She was held accountable, but why is Alec Baldwin on trial? I mean, this is, okay, I gotta say it. Sneakily replacing prop bullets with live ammunition on a movie set seems like something from, remember the Hitman game? Anyone? There's literally a mission in the Hitman Blood Money game where this happens. Don't believe me, look it up. Is that what happened here? Someone else snuck in the bullets? If so, who? Why?
Somebody took that gun and put live ammunition in that gun.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Well, what? And it only shot Miss Hutchins, who wasn't even in the scene. She was right. She's not an actress. So how'd she get shot? What did he shoot? I mean, so starting with Miss Hutchins, something doesn't add up. There's something weird. She grew up in, of all places, the Soviet Union. Murmansk, I believe, is the place. That place is famous for, of all things, its nuclear submarine bases. The shooting with Alec Baldwin and Miss Hutchins happened in October of 2021. And it's just weird to me that Alec Baldwin also starred in a movie called Red October about a Russian nuclear submarine departing from the port of Murmansk. Also, what are the chances that her husband, Miss Hutchinson's husband, just so happened to work for a law firm that represents the Clintons? Oh yeah, and she used to be a journalist, and her father used to be a naval commander at that same nuclear submarine base in Murmansk. Isn't this just strange? And she's the only one that gets shot with a real bullet on a movie set with a prop gun that's never supposed to fire real bullets. I don't know what to say. I guess it'll be a mystery forever until we see the trial. We're going to take a break and return. It's only about 40 minutes before Joe Biden makes his big boy press conference. Stay tuned. You're listening to Thinking Logically on 99.3 FM WBVP.
You know, when Joe Biden shuffles in front of the cameras to answer scripted questions during the day, he lies like Don King. But what you don't know is, when he goes to sleep at night, he lies like an Egyptian king because he uses MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Grown only in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River, its long staple cotton makes it ultra soft and breathable. Use the promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings on this amazing product. Hey guys, it's Joe from Thinking Logically here to tell you about a company I've been using since I got my learner's permit. Grossi & Associates. Using their state-of-the-art equipment, Grossi & Associates offers collision repair for all makes and models, both foreign and domestic. There's a reason why they are voted best of the Valley year in and year out. They are the collision experts. Grossi & Associates. Call today for a free estimate.
Cash for your house. PGHbuyers.com. If you have an unwanted house but don't want the hassle of selling, visit PGHbuyers.com to see if PGHbuyers.com can help. No inspections and a fair cash offer. Visit PGHbuyers.com to sell that unwanted property for a fair price today. It's Joe again from Thinking Logically, here to tell you about one of my favorite clothing items, the MyPillow hoodie. Two things I love the most about this hoodie are how it fits and how it feels. This hoodie is extremely roomy, and its terry cloth material makes it lighter than any other hoodie I own. Use promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings. The MyPillow hoodie. Get yours today.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Welcome back to Thinking Logically on 99.3 FM WBVP. Brought to you by Mitchell's Jewelers. Remember, it takes an enormous amount of pressure to make a diamond, so why should you put yourself under more pressure when buying one? Don't. Go to Mitchell's Jewelers, where the choice is as clear as their diamonds. Mitchell's Jewelers, located at 2454 Mill Street in Aliquippa, PA. That's 2454 Mill Street in Aliquippa, PA. Mark, new polls came out today for some reason. I have no idea why they involved Kamala Harris. Do you have anything on this? All of a sudden, she's soaring in the polls somehow?
The last poll I saw was that she was polling 3 points ahead of Donald Trump head-to-head. Do I believe that? Absolutely not. She is extremely disliked.
There's going to be fake polls. But for them to have these ready to go already, Joe Biden's the president, is he not? What happened?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, can we talk about another poll we got? The political polls from New June voter registration. Okay, this is from New June voter registration. This is a list of 19 states. I'm not going to list all of them. I'll tell you Pennsylvania. 9,035 more Republicans registered in June. Then Democrats lost 240. All others, 15,220. Out of these 19 states, Joe, there's only one where more Democrats outpaced Republicans, and that's Colorado. So for June alone, out of these 19 states, Republicans gained 107,000 new voter registrations. Democrats gained about 2,000. And all others gained about 91,000 roughly. All others, Joe. What's that, independent?
Robert Kennedy?
Libertarian? Yeah. So that's good news. You know, we talk about ballot harvesting and whatnot. That's great news, actually. So all of these 19 states, some of these are swing states. Nevada, Pennsylvania, Colorado maybe, North Carolina. All right.
You got Nate Silver. Hold on, wait 1 second. Let me see here. What we have here. Oh, this is what I want to get to. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. This is another senator. So this is from Michael Tracy on X. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse looks like he just saw a ghost as he exits the Senate Dem meeting with the Biden campaign officials. He says he needs, quote, time to process what took place in the meeting and won't be answering questions, including about Biden's control of the nuclear arsenal. What? I mean, do they want him out tomorrow? They would never. This is very unlike the party, Mark. This is like he's Trump all of a sudden. Like he turned orange and got orange hair, and I don't know what happened. They discovered all of a sudden. You for 3 years, you had Joe Biden, who would be asleep until 10 a.m. and only rouses up to drink the bloods of young virgins, give a short speech via teleprompter, and then depending on the day, either returns to bed or heads to his Delaware beach house. And they're just noticing this now. I don't understand it.
Well, how long do we think this press conference is going to go tonight?
If it goes any longer than 22 minutes, like the interview, it's done. The longer it goes, the worse it is. There's no winning, because if it's too short, he's done. If it's too short, they're going to get on him for that. He can't do it. If it's too long, he's going to fall apart. He might actually, like we said, melt on at the podium.
Yeah. How about this?
Go ahead.
No, this is a little bit off topic. How about this one, Joe? In the United States, the federal government will spend $892 billion in the current fiscal year on interest payments, more than is earmarked for defense and approaching the budget for Medicare, health insurance for older people, and those with disabilities, per CNN.
That's dangerous. I mean, we're literally 2-3 years away from. That's an irreversible thing. It helps that we can print our own money, but do you realize what that does? That just, I mean, it's a cycle. All right, we got about 5 minutes here. Let's cover what Nate Silver said. I think, is this what Nate Silver said? This is from on Nate Silver Next. This isn't normal or acceptable for an American president. It sounds like a story from an authoritarian country, and it says that the entire display of Biden is a kind of act, the sources told CNN. They would come in and say, hey, the president is going to call on you in about 25 minutes and ask this question. What are the bullet points you'll respond with? The second source, who echoed the same description, said when Biden attends cabinet meetings, there are not freewheeling and pretty well orchestrated, and the meetings themselves are infrequent, with one cabinet secretary telling CNN they are uncertain of Biden's condition because they so rarely see him. According to Karine Jean-Pierre, he's engaged 24/7.
Laura Loomer tweeted he hasn't had a cabinet meeting in 9 months.
That's ridiculous. 9 months? It's not like, the country's on autopilot doing great. We got war in the Middle East. We got war in Ukraine. We got an energy issue coming up here. And he's just too busy getting radio station hosts fired.
Oh.
Did you see the other radio station admitted that it agreed to edit the interview with Joe Biden? I think it was out of Milwaukee.
Yeah, I did see that. I mean, Joe, speaking of the media, I mean, what does this do to the credibility the credibility they had left? Now that they've been exposed as liars and covering up all of this for the last couple years.
This is why they're going all out, to make them go, see, oh, wow, the media's back at it. They're going to tell the truth now. And then they're just going to wait another month and lie to you again about whoever the next candidate is. They're going to, that's what it is. You got to see it for what it is. They're liars and they're cheats and they're actors. They're acting right now. They've known about this forever. It's just convenient. Now's the time. God save our republic.
I mean, I've been asking this question since he's been elected. I mean, anyone that can think logically can look at him and see that he wasn't all there, except those on the left, who probably wanted to look at him and think to themselves, yeah, he's with it. But it was everyone else that could see, look at him and see this guy isn't all that. Who's running the country?
His administration.
Some people don't care that he's not running the country, Joe.
No,
that's the scary thing. They'll go vote for him anyways because it's his cabinet. It's his this. It's his that.
And even if it is Obama running it and Joe Biden's just the empty suit up front, which it might be, that's why Obama wants him out, because he realized he can't cheat with this guy. They continue on with power. That's why Obama never left Washington, D.C. after his presidency ended. That's why. He's right there. He's the shadow president. You gotta be blind not to see it. Pull the wool out of your eyes and just see it. Please, people.
Imagine Joe Biden and Hunter Biden calling the shots in these big high level meetings.
And look where we are today. They've been. She's
not going down quietly, Joe.
Would you? Like I said, it's like when you're a little kid and you get caught. You don't just throw your arms up and say, "Oh, you got me. I'll tell on myself." No, you fight it out to the end. So do you think Joe Biden could possibly be incapacitated, where Kamala Harris ends up being the first black, I don't want to say black acting president. That sounds kind of, the first black acting president. But I don't know. I think Kamala's going to be the placeholder, and they're going to pick two new candidates. I think it's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be next week. But they're going to go knives out for Biden and make you beg for a new candidate. What do you think? We got about 1 minute.
Does it come before the convention or after the convention? I think that matters.
What if it comes during the convention? They kill him at the convention. I shouldn't even joke around about that, but I'm serious. Like, people just turn up dead, like Obama's chef and Hillary Clinton's chef. And
did you see that something about they want to make the voting secret so they could cast the votes?
Let them. I don't care.
What about defending democracy?
Yeah,
you got to defend democracy.
Let
people
hypocrites.
have spoken. Joe Biden should be the nominee.
He's vigorous. Yeah.
He's focused.
All right, we got to wrap up here. Ryan, anything you want to say before we head out?
No, great show today, guys. Loved it as always, and I hope you guys enjoy this. What is it? The speech tonight, Biden. So
It's a
press conference.
Big boy press
All
conference.
right, let's see.
Mark,
Thank you, Ryan, our producer. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Joe, great episode, and we will see you guys next week.
Be back Monday for the Republican National Convention. Full coverage. Stay tuned. You're listening to Thinking Logic on 99.3 FM. We'll see you Monday.
God bless America.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
You're listening to 99.3 FM.